So, good morning. Another beautiful day in America. And I've listened to Mark Levin just now, and I've listened to a little bit of Sean Hannity, all about this Stzrok thing. All the things going on right now in this country, and most people are oblivious. They got lives to live. They got stuff to do. Kids to raise, jobs to do. I have a little more time in my life. I don't miss too much. When I watch what's going on in the FBI, now they serve this guy Stzrok up, and he went and made a complete liar out of himself, which is what all of them are doing. But I'll tell you this, they'll make a scapegoat out of him. And of course, he was an idiot in saying those things. But the audacity of government, this is what they are. This is what they do. They become untouchable. They are not at the service of the people anymore. They're just not. They serve themselves. When I hear someone thank a cop or an FBI agent for their service, I want to puke. You need to be thanked to do your job? Quit your fucking job. These people get paid well for what they do. More times than not for what they don't do. Since 9/11, their pay has gone up 1,000%. When they write the epitaph of America, as surely that day is coming, they're going to find out that 9/11 was more contrived than not. I don't care who was behind the airplanes. I really don't. But it's been a rolling conspiracy, dynamic, fluid, and endless. If your house catches fire and one of your neighbors plunders that house while it's burning, that's conspiracy. That's you can't impugn, or you can't lay at that neighbor's feet the fact that he's an arsonist. But if he took advantage, he's a criminal. And that's what our government has done. And they're still telling us if we see something, say something, and be afraid of the boogeyman. Where's all those ISIS people now? Where's all those Al-Qaeda guys? I have suspected that these school shootings, I have, and many other people have suspected this was at the behest of the government. And I have gone so far as to think many of them have been faked and staged. I'm not going to get into trying to prove it. It's a rabbit hole. Anytime there's something like that goes down, ask yourself who profited and who lost. And since 9/11, there's been an endless attack and encroachment on our freedoms, our rights, and they just keep getting more money and benefits. Like the war on drugs. The war on drugs has cost us just about our rights vis-a-vis habeas corpus. Cop can throw something in your car and take everything you own. Now, if you have the utmost faith that everybody in this country, all cops, are above reproach, God bless you. I don't. Do I think most cops are bad? No. But I know what a bell curve is. And I know, with that type of invested power, it don't take a whole lot of them to be able to do a tremendous amount of damage. Let me give you a little context. Prior to World War II, in the early days of the Nazi regime, when the brown shirt thugs were out doing damage, these were basically street people. Politically aligned street thugs. That's who the brown shirts were. Most of them had no military training. They were just political socialists. Henceforth the term Nazi, National Socialist Workers' Party. They were socialists. They weren't Republicans. Matter of fact, they hated Republicans. Hitler called Christians Bible thumpers. People don't know that. Like the people in our FBI that are all in trouble right now, Hitler was a good Catholic. I'm not making this up. He sang in the church choir in Graz, Austria. He got the swastika from the cross, which was a topsy-turvy cross over the gate entrance into that churchyard. Look it up. Altar boys, Comey, McCabe. It's scary, the similarities. Here's what I want you to know. If you were a Jew or a gypsy, if you were someone that the brown shirts decide was an enemy of the state, they would attack you. And in doing so, attacking the unwanted people, many of those victims would run. And some of the people they ran to were, believe it or not, the SS soldiers. They were looked at in the early days of Nazism as the baby blue Marines. They were the protectors. And boy, it didn't take long until they were the exterminators. So, people don't understand, but the context shouldn't be lost. These agencies, government apparatchiks in any government, go rogue more times than people would imagine. You invest people with power, privilege, guns and badges. That's always the scary part of that reality. And they become mercenary in their thinking. I mean, Stzrok doesn't hate Trump because he's a Republican. He doesn't love Hillary because she's a liberal Democrat. They love who butters their bread and who invests them in more and more power and more money. These people are mercenary, rogues. And for the very next morning, yesterday, Rosenstein comes out with this completely fakaked press conference about how they've indicted more Russians. The old axiom, you could indict a ham sandwich, is true. This has been one CYA, cover your you-know-what, after another with these FBI thugs. One after another. And their duplicity is so evident that it's beyond belief. It really is. Their audacity is beyond belief. But just like Hillary, their stupidity exceeds that audacity, because any thinking person would say, we can't have this announcement the day after Strzok because it's going to look like a smokescreen. But not these audacious pricks. They go right ahead with their smokescreen. Like the guy who burned your house down, coming over and offering you a new garden hose. This is beyond conspiracy now. And I'm talking literal, high crime conspiracy. And all of the people now at the hierarchy of the FBI cannot extricate themselves. They are all complicit. Just about everybody at the height of the DOJ is complicit with the millions of things they have against the Clintons. Tarmac meetings with the crooked DOJ head, and that was Loretta Lynch. The Fast and Furious. The endless parade of criminality from Holder. Fast and Furious. The illegal servers the thousands and thousands, exceeding of over 100,000 emails on Hillary Clinton, and they act like they couldn't put her away. They couldn't put her away. But on allegations that everyone knows was based on false, ridiculous hearsay that led to a FISA warrant and a bogus investigation to do everything they can to embarrass the Trump campaign. And so they go after all these ancillary people, Manafort and whomever, to try to bring down Trump. There's going to be a big price for this. First of all, God sees it all. Second of all, I'm a pugnacious guy. I kind of understand that type of person, and I know Putin is a lot like me. I know what I would be doing if I was Putin. I'd be getting my military ready. You keep calling a guy a criminal, he may end up being a real criminal. But all these allegations against Trump over collusion, which isn't a crime, but nonetheless it would be wrong if he colluded. He didn't. But I'll tell you, the evidence, hard evidence of collusion with the FBI and the Clinton campaign doesn't stop. It just keeps revealing itself. There's an old saying, it's funny till someone gets hurt. Then it's hysterical. Well, this is going to get hysterical. And people of America, you better pray for your children. You better pray for your lives. And you better pray for your country. Because we've crossed the line. And God will have justice. Even if the American people won't. In the end, this went on in Rome. This is what happens. The Praetorians have decided they're their own nation. They don't represent us, and they don't defend us. They've sold our jobs to China. They've sold our people into bondage. This happened in Egypt. Read the story of Exodus that led up to what happened with Joseph coming to Egypt and the inevitable leaving by Moses and the Israelites. Read what happened. This has happened forever. And the mercenaries have brought down every empire that ever was. Every nation that has ever fallen would understand these symptoms profoundly. And I'm not being dramatic. And I'm not talking about some esoteric historical context whereby one would glean that, yeah, inevitably things like this happen. But inevitably the nation falling could be many, many years from now. I'm telling you, we're pushing the red line here. We may have months. Think about that. Know the truth. Understand the evil. And everybody in the FBI, the DOJ right now, that's in a leadership position of authority has to be removed. And we have to reinvent these agencies. You have to keep enough of them to have continuum of functionality, but this is bad. We now need a national purge in all government agencies, and these people need to be brought up on charges, tried and convicted for the criminals they are.